I'm Fatima.
And I'm Sean.
And we are
Powerful Creators.
1, 2, 3. The 6th episode of Powerful Creators is here. Hi, Sean.
Hi, Fatima. Welcome.
Welcome. We spoke about money last episode, and we have more money to bring on today.
Exactly. I've been very excited to visit with you this week and talk more and give our listeners some tools. And we're going to maybe shine some light on what you and I think are laws of the universe when it comes to abundance and money.
Yes. Sean, you taught me that there is a huge abundance in the world and that we deserve it. And we just need to work on ourselves and reprogram our minds to receive it, to allow it. And we were speaking today about a very important quote, right, Sean?
Absolutely. Would you share that with us, Fatima?
I do.
Awesome.
So let's meditate on my inner world creates my outer world.
That's so powerful.
My inner world creates my outer world. Yes, it is very, very powerful. And I feel it has everything inside, but we want to clarify.
Exactly. So there's so much in one little sentence and so few words. My inner world creates my outer world. What is your inner world, Fatima? It's your mind. It's the thoughts in your mind, right?
Yes. Not only, but yes. I believe that my inner world is everything that is inside my world. So if what I do, what I say, what I think, what I feel, everything is energy and everything is inside my inner world. So I feel like sharing this. This morning I was reading Abraham Hicks and I read that everything in the physical world is spiritual. It comes from a source, from a divine source. And if we think money is energy, everything is energy. Our thoughts are energy. Our emotions, they are energy. There is so much money in the world that can go through us. Does this make sense, Sean?
Absolutely, Fatima, and you're 100% right. There's no shortage of money in the world. There's literally trillions of dollars floating around in notes, in computers. There's no shortage, and I agree that money is energy, and if an abundance of energy, if energy flows through us and to us, then money will too.
Yes, and you taught me, Sean, that money is magnetic.
Yes, I believe that to be one of the laws, the universal laws of money. Money is magnetic. Without any, you won't get any.
Tell me more about that, Sean.
What a contradiction, right? Without money, you can't get money. So how do you get money if you don't have money? That's something that I dealt with for many years. And I think it's very true. If, forces of gravity, the larger the mass of one object is, the more it pulls to another. So the laws of the universe flow through everything, not just the money part. So what do? How do you get money if you don't have money? I don't know about you guys, but I see change laying around on the ground. Let's say, for instance, I'm completely broke. I have no money in my pocket. I'm walking around and all of a sudden I see a penny on the floor. Now, am I going to go and retire to Tahiti on that penny? Absolutely not. But I pick it up and put it in my pocket. And so I have something there to start with. I take that, I go and I have an inspired idea. I'm open to more money flowing to me, and that's the most important thing. And as I have some money, I take some out for me. I put it in my investment for fortune account. That money pulls other money to it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I remember, Sean, when I was completely broke, as you were saying a few seconds ago, you taught me that there is a duplication law in which when we have one, let's say I'm in Portugal, so when you have €1 in your purse, it's easy to duplicate that to €2. And then it's easy to duplicate 2 to 4, 4 to 8, but it's hard or harder to have €1 in your purse and imagine having 1 million or 1,000 right away, right, Sean?
That's such a great point, Fatima. It's more difficult, and we can't typically individually go from 1 million to 2 million without following through. And the law of duplication is so easy because it's a path, it's a map, it's a way forward. If it feels horrible to not have any money in your purse, but if you have €1, you can find and you can earn or you can acquire another euro. So that means you've just doubled your money. Duplication, double. You doubled $1 to two. You've doubled €1 to two. Could you go from €2 to €4? I think so. And it's pretty easy to go from €4 to 8. Absolutely. 8 to 16, 16 to 32, 32 to 164. Wait a minute. The next thing you know, we're in the thousands. I've got €1,000 in my investment for a fortune account. Wait a minute. I might not get the next 1,000 as fast as I got the first 500, but I know I can do it because I have the experience behind me. I have that momentum. The momentum of that duplication carries you forward.
I remember speaking about this with a friend, not in terms of money, but in terms of followers on the Instagram. So, for example, in the beginning, it's easy to have 10 followers and go to 20, but it's hard to go from 10 to 1,000 like this really quick, right?
Absolutely.
And if you focus on these small numbers, you feel it. It's like your emotion is more like believing that is possible. It's possible to go from 10 to 1,000, but organically speaking, in a healthy way, maybe you focus first on the 20, on the 40, on the 80, and then you just allow the number to grow in a healthy way. And you also get used, hey, I'm having more money. I'm receiving more and I'm giving more. Now I have more to give, I have more to receive. And this is already not a law, right, Sean?
Absolutely, Fatima. The law says that the more you have, the more you'll receive. And you mentioned organically. You're growing it organically. The momentum you've built is carrying you forward, and the universe is watching you too. And if you have $10 million and you're not a good shepherd of it, soon that $10 million will leave. If you have 1,000 and you work to get 2,000, that reinforces everything, and that allows for even more abundance. And again, there we have the money is magnetic, and then the law of duplication. Those two things, and add some momentum, add some taking inspired action to go to the next step. It's a game. If you think about money as a game, very similar to Monopoly, but the law of duplication, and doing what makes your heart sing to earn that money, it becomes easier and easier, and you're a more powerful creator.
Yes, one of the things that you taught me, and I felt that worked so great with me, was establishing in a very clear way my points of goals. So I remember not having any income, and I put some goals in terms of income. I challenged myself to believe that I was able to receive, for example, €1,000 per month just by doing music. In the moment that I was still in the, I was starting to make some money, but 1,000 is already above the minimum salary in Portugal. And that could sound a little bit challenging for a single mom with a small baby, but I said, why not? I can do it. And suddenly I was doing much more of that, and I was having a stable contract and a stable job. And how amazing is when you establish points of goals. You say, I'm receiving now 100, so I'm going to put the goal of receiving 200. And suddenly you are doing the 200. And what I felt is that when I was studying rich and successful people, I studied that they it's like a radio station. They tune into a frequency in which even when you, let's say, invest or lose some money, you always get that money back because you already tuned into that frequency.
Absolutely, Fatima. Once you've raised your energy level to those abundance frequencies, you see the opportunities around you. There's opportunities everywhere around. What do we do? What does every business in the world do? It serves a purpose that many people have. If you open your eyes to opportunities, you'll soon see ways to generate more income, to serve more people. The more people you serve, the more you'll make. You serve a few, you'll have little. If you serve many, you'll have an abundance. So think about ways to serve many people.
Yes. And Sean, you also taught me about the law of compensation. Can you please share about that, please?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The law of compensation says that to receive, you must first give. What does that mean? To receive, you must first give. Let's ask the audience to think about that just a little bit. I want to receive, but I know I must first give in an equal or greater amount than I want to receive.
Mm-hmm. And when I started applying that to my life, for example, I started tipping people in Portugal. Tipping is not really, really common in Portugal as it is in the United States or in Canada. So I started tipping, and some people, for example, at the coffee shop, would look at me like, what is that? Why? And I was doing, you provided me with a great service, great coffee, a huge smile. So just take it, and people will feel a very wonderful energy. They will smile and feel really good. And suddenly, I was receiving more tips at the hotel. And I was analyzing the more I was giving to people when I felt that I wanted to give, when I felt that, someone really helped me with something. So I want to give you. Sometimes it's not only money, is giving our kindness in actions, giving something that they need and that we know how to do it. And the more you give, suddenly you are receiving a lot from everybody, anyone, and in many terms, not only in money.
Exactly, Fatima. And one question I have for you, when you give the tip, it makes the other person feel good. How do you feel when you give the tip?
I was feeling really good. And not only the tip, but one thing that I have been doing at least every month, there is we have in Portugal, I'm not sure if you have in the United States, but we have in Portugal the, let's call it the praising book. We call it Livro de Elogios. I'm speaking Portuguese for the first time here.
Awesome.
It's like you have the complaining book, but you also have the opposite, the praising book. Do you have that there, Sean?
I'm not familiar with the praising book, Fatima. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yes. So the same way you have any commerce store has a complaint book. So when something happens in a bad way, you can complain in the book. You also have here the praising book. And the praising book is when you enjoy a service, you are allowed to write in the book that the service was amazing. It's like the complaining book, but in the opposite
The
side
opposite.
of the
Oh,
energy, exactly.
okay.
And I have been in the last months, at least one time in minimum per month, I have been signing the praising book. And it's something that you ask. You go to a store, you feel really good. I remember that last time, me and my daughter, we went to a pizzeria and they were amazing with us. I told I don't eat meat. My daughter has only 4 years old, so she doesn't eat that much. What will be good for us? That will be funny for her, and all that stuff. And the girl was amazing. She tried to do a mixing pizza, like one part with some flavors, other part with other flavors, and then for example, only the familiar one had this cheese inside dough, and for us, we were only two. That was not easy, But she said, "No, but I'm going to do a special one for you." And then she put us in a great table with a great view. And then they were all the time coming to us. I just felt that the service was perfect. And I asked in the end for the praising book, and they were really, really happy. And then she gave a huge smile, Sean, when I said, "Hey, what is your name?" to the waiter. And she felt special. And anyone is special, in all the jobs that we have. And when I asked her name, she felt so special. And then I put her name in the praising book, and she was a huge smile with the praising book and feeling really good, like you made my day, this kind of feeling. It's so good and it's so easy, and sometimes it's so free to be kind.
Kindness is easy, kindness is free, and kindness is contagious. Kindness is uplifting. Kindness is amazing. And that's such a cool story, Fatima. Thank you for sharing that. That's really awesome.
I never shared that story with you, right?
I know, yeah, it's the first time
You're
you
learning.
shared.
Because it's something so common, right? It's like I'm not doing this to share with people. This happens every month at least one time. So it's very common. I would like to share today, before I forget, another tip that you gave me, Sean. That was, you taught me to always put aside 10% of everything I receive. And you told me that that should be the first thing we do when we receive money. So, Sean, would you please share more about that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Many people have heard about this technique, have heard about this law, and it's in many books and many authors and many people for years and years and years have talked about it. But how many people do it? Not that many. It basically says we pay ourselves first, and 10% is a great number. Often people tithe 10% to their church or an organization. My thought is we pay ourselves before we pay our bills. We pay ourselves before we pay the delivery man. We pay ourselves because this is not our rainy day fund. I don't want rainy days. I want an investment for fortune account. And if we take a portion of that, it becomes habit forming, and you put that money in your investment for fortune account, and you wait for inspired action to find ways to serve others. That investment for fortune account becomes capital you can use in a business. That investment for fortune account is also building the magnetivity of your money. And the more you have, the more you receive, right? So that's doing so many things with just that 10%. And over time, 10% may be $100 a month. 10% may be $1,000 a month. In some advanced investors' portfolio, 10% is $1,000,000 a month or more. So it's a percent. You can change it if you need to. Man, you may say, "Sean, you don't know my bills." Okay, start with 5%. Start with some percent and pay yourself first.
Yes. What I was doing in the beginning, that I was not receiving, I was broke. So I was receiving small portions in the beginning. I was putting 10% in a small envelope, and it was easy. And then when I started receiving more than 1,000 per month, I created a savings account. And every time I would receive, I would put right away that money in the savings account. And that will mention to myself that I deserve that money. It's an amazing feeling. And I would think that money as an investment, like you said, investment for fortune. Let's not get into the trap of thinking in an emergency fund. We don't want to attract an emergency fund. Right, John?
Exactly. That's so critical, and it's such a small way of thinking. Most people have a rainy day fund. Well, guess what happens? It rains. so,
Yes.
so use your affirmations, use your mantras. When you put that money in the envelope, number one, you feel really great about that. Number two, you tell yourself, I'm a money magnet. My envelope's getting bigger and bigger all the time, and
Yes.
many other things.
Yes. So today we shared a little bit more about some laws that we have been using. In the episode of last week, we shared about limiting beliefs. So if you didn't hear that episode, it's very important. So you understand firstly what are your limiting beliefs, what is the financial model in your subconscious, so you can reprogram yourself and allow all these laws to happen. And also we have meditations about abundance, carefree abundance, about meditations, about your inner world on the Powerful Creators app. And also, we have some teasers on the social media. You might find us on the Instagram in the English account called Powerful Creators app, and also on Facebook and Twitter and Pinterest. Just find powerfulcreators.net website, and you have all our social media there.
Absolutely, Fatima. Thank you for mentioning that, and I want to, I'm sure, on your behalf as well, invite everybody to follow us on our social media pages and get engaged, because this is a process. This, you don't learn this in one day and the next day it's easy. You find this. You let it incubate in your mind. This is a seed that we have cast into the wind of cyberspace, if you will. But we want these seeds to grow, and we want these seeds to grow in the minds and the hearts of people. And we want to hear about your stories, feedback. Definitely reach out, ask us questions, tell us, share with us how these things have affected you positively or negatively. We'd love to hear that, and want your feedback.
Yes, I have many friends with funny stories about money. We do also have, Sean. I feel that today we shared less about our experience and our stories, but we were trying to focus more on the giving the secrets, talking about the laws. But there are so many funny stories that we would like to hear. So just contact us through the website or the social media, share with us our story, and we might share them here on the podcast.
Absolutely. Yeah, if we have questions, I'm sure that we would entertain answering some questions, and that as well. We that would be that would be fun. That'd be super exciting.
Cool. So don't forget to repeat, like one of us we shared in last episode, I am a money magnet.
Exactly, Fatima. That's one of my favorites, and it's something that's powerful. And when you feel it, you'll discover it, you'll investigate it, you'll feel it, then you'll know it. Start that process today. Start your investment for fortune account. Start doubling. Everybody can find a penny on the ground. Let's get started.
Exactly. Make it fun.
Exactly.
And you don't need to repeat the mantra as something very zen. You might just do a rhythm. Dun, 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 dun. I am a money magnet. 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 And suddenly you are receiving the money in your feet, the money in your hands, and the money in your bank account. Right, Tron?
Absolutely, Fatima. That's so catchy. That's going to be in my brain. I love that.
I am a money magnet.
I am a money magnet. I am a money magnet.
Woohoo!
So cool.
See you next week. Thank you very much.
See you next week, Fatima. Thank you. Because you can.
You deserve.
And you are a powerful creator.